Across Canada, CBC News investigation has found that a large part of your donations to charity may not go to the charity at all. Many of those charities we're talking about hire companies to raise money for them, and those companies can charge a huge fee for their services. We found examples of this all over the country. Let's go to Vancouver now, where the CBC's Lisa Johnson has another one. Lisa, what did you turn up in BC?
Well, it's pretty similar to the picture that you've been talking about across the country. It's pretty common practice here in BC for charities to hire these private fundraising companies. More than 100 of them do it. We found 38 charities where the private company was keeping more than half of what was donated to the charity. In some cases, the numbers are much higher. For example, the BC Wheelchair Sports Association has hired for the last decade a company called Zentel, one of the big telemarketing companies, to do telemarketing for them. And in 2009, Zentel kept 87% of what it collected in the charity's name. Now that year stands out, but every year since 2003, the telemarketing company has kept at least 60% of what people thought they were donating to the charity.
Okay, why do charities put up with this?
Well, the short answer is even though telemarketing is expensive and they're seeing these small numbers, it's still working. They're still getting a lot of money. So for these charities, even the ones getting just, say, 13 cents on the dollar, like the one I just mentioned, it's still more money than they can get doing it other ways by having their volunteers telemarketing or trying other kinds of fundraising measures. But some charities are finding the cost too high, and I talked to some who've given up on these external fundraisers. For example, the Vancouver Firefighters Charitable Society, they used to contract Zentel to do their fundraising, and they told me in the beginning it was great. For a small amount of effort on the firefighter side, they could get way more money than they'd ever gotten through car washes and other kind of grassroots fundraising activities. That was money that they could put out in the community to support causes, which is what they wanted to do. But then, over the years, the share that Zentel kept growing and growing to the point where firefighters were only seeing, say, a third of what was donated to charity. And Vancouver firefighters said they couldn't live with that. They stopped their contract with Zentel last year because they said ethically and morally, they couldn't go out asking for donations people thought were going to charity were in fact going to a private company.
Or a big portion of them were, for sure. Lisa Johnson in Vancouver, thank you. My next guest has been a professional fundraiser for more than 20 years. He says his company is different. George Stanois joins me in studio. George Stanois, how is your company different?
The fact is we don't charge a commission for the fundraising that we do. We're a fee-for-service business.
What does that mean? Give me an example.
Well, we...
Let's say I wanted to raise $10 million for my charity and I came to you. How would that work?
Yes, step one is we want to ensure that we would undertake what we call a campaign planning study or a feasibility study to ensure that that $10 million is a realistic figure. So once we've undertaken that, we come back with a report that details what in reality is a clear goal for you to raise. So you could pull that $10 million out of midair, but is that realistic?
Okay, so let's say it is realistic,
yes,
and you come back with a positive report. What happens then?
Then we would undertake to create a contract to manage that campaign for you. So
let me ask you what I really want to ask you, which is how much would you charge?
Well, again, it's a fee-for-service based on the amount of time we need to put into the program. As a rule of thumb in our business, we talk about capital campaigns costing between 8 to 12 to 15 cents on the dollar. So asking charity
15% maybe.
Well, it's not so much a percentage because we're not taking 15% of the $10 million. If we raise $12 or $15 million, the fee stays the same.
Right. Okay. So the fee is 12. Well, let me get this straight: 12 or 15 cents on the dollar.
Or 8 or 6 or 4%.
Right. Okay.
A lot of and it varies. The range is there because of there are fixed costs for $1 million campaign and a $10 million campaign. Mm-hmm. So you're still paying for some services that doesn't matter how much money you're needing to raise.
Okay, is it ethical that people go out and get people to donate to charities, knowing that a certain percentage is going to go to administration fees?
Well, again, the differentiating between percentage and a flat fee for service. We have a code of ethics that prohibits us from charging a percentage.
Okay. Okay. I'm confused because but it's a certain amount of money on the dollar depending on how easy it's going to be for you to.
No. It's we talk about in budgeting the establishing a goal, how much realistically it will cost this organization in terms of operating costs to run the campaign, administrative costs, as well as our fees in terms of our time in the process. A lot of the charities that hire us do not have the skills in hand to run a major national or a major capital campaign, and that's why we're asked to work with them on those.
So let me ask you again. So if I had a $10 million fundraising effort that you were in charge of, and let's say it could be done in 6 months, and you determined how much would that cost roughly?
6 months would be
okay, a year?
Well, considering the times we're in right now, competition for charitable dollars, which is incredible. So we're running into two things out there in terms of donor fatigue as well as volunteer fatigue. A lot of the campaigns we work on depend on volunteers. We're not the front line asking for donations. We manage the campaigns. We work with volunteers. It's getting tougher and tougher to recruit volunteers. I'm sure you've been asked to work on some campaigns yourself.
I don't know. I'm still wondering how much it's going to cost me for my $10 million campaign.
Again, it varies. I couldn't give you sort of a price. It's a per month fee. What I was getting at was the fact that campaigns 10, 20 years ago that used to take us 12 to 14 to 16 months are taking that much longer. So yes, the cost of fundraising is increasing.
Do you think that there are a lot of unethical? I remember when I was in Afghanistan, you'd see people working on the ground there saying, "Oh, there go the professional charities," knowing that they were only taking a fee for themselves, keeping themselves in business, had their big fancy cars, and nobody on the ground was getting anything. To think that that's happening here in Canada is shocking. Are you shocked to hear it?
Oh, I've known about this for throughout my career, that there are organizations that take a percentage and a huge percentage of, I guess, the lion's share of the dollars. But for those charities that are hiring them, that's probably the only opportunity they'll have in terms of to generate any dollars for whatever case they might have, because their stakeholder base is so focused that they don't have an experience, so they're really desperate.
So the bottom line is ask people for their code of ethics and then compare it to the contracts you
get.
All right, we'll leave it there. George Stanois, professional fundraiser and managing director of the Goldie Company. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay.